around him. Anyway, Daniel had always seen himself as invisible in a world that seemed to reward the outgoing, the charming, and the attractive. He felt like he was just a shadow, a background character in the story of life. He was never the type to be noticed. Never the one who turned heads when he walked into a room. Never the one who was picked first. Instead, Daniel kept to the edges, quiet and unassuming, his eyes often fixed on the ground, as if he didn't deserve to take up space. It wasn't that he didn't try to change it. He wished he could be more like the others, more confident, more charismatic, more bold. But somehow, no matter how hard he tried, he never quite fit. Growing up, he had been told 1,000 times that love was for people who were worthy of it. People who had something special to offer. People who were beautiful, or smart, or talented. People who stood out. He wasn't one of those people. He watched from the sidelines as his friends fell in love, as couples laughed together in cafes, as people held hands, effortlessly gliding through life. It was like a world he didn't belong to, a world where love was something that just happened, something others were given freely, but not him. And so, over time, Daniel made peace with the idea that love was something he would never experience. It wasn't that he didn't long for it, it was just that, in his mind, it wasn't for him. He wasn't good enough. He wasn't worthy enough. Love was for other people. People who were more than he was. People who deserved it more. But then, everything changed. The arrival of Elena. It was a day like any other. And yet, in an instant, it became the day that would change Daniel's life forever. Her name was Elena. She was nothing like what Daniel expected. Elena didn't fit the stereotypes that Daniel had come to associate with love. She wasn't loud or flashy or overly bold. In fact, there was something so gentle about her. Something soft and warm that seemed to draw people in. Like a quiet light in a dark room. She noticed him. She didn't just glance past him like everyone else. She saw him, and not just in the way people look at others, but in a way that made Daniel feel important. She listened to his words with a care that was unfamiliar. She didn't interrupt him. She waited for him to finish, patiently and attentively. And when he spoke, she laughed at his jokes, even the ones he thought were awkward. It wasn't just her kindness that caught Daniel off guard. It was the way she made him feel seen. In a world where Daniel had learned to hide behind his own self-doubt, Elena made him feel like he was worthy of attention, worthy of love. It wasn't like he'd suddenly changed. He was still the same quiet, reserved Daniel. But Elena didn't see those things as flaws. She saw what was inside, the kindness, the patience, the deep, unwavering loyalty that Daniel kept hidden, thinking no one would care. They started spending more time together. First, it was casual, brief moments here and there. A cup of coffee after class, a walk through the park, a shared laugh over a silly movie. But each time they spent together, Daniel found himself opening up in ways he hadn't with anyone before. Elena wasn't just someone to be around. She made him feel safe. She made him feel like he wasn't alone. And then, one evening, as they walked home together, something shifted. The moment that changed everything. The sun had set, leaving a cool breeze in the air. They walked in comfortable silence, the kind that comes between people who found a deeper connection. But then, Elena stopped in her tracks, turned to him, and looked into his eyes. Daniel, ever the awkward one, glanced away. "Is something wrong?" he asked, his voice tinged with uncertainty. Elena smiled gently, and for a moment, her gaze seemed to pierce through him, like she was looking right past the facade he had built up over the years. It was right to the heart of who he was. "Daniel," she said softly, "do you know what I like most about you?" Daniel's stomach flipped. No one had ever asked him that before. No one had ever cared to ask what they liked about him, what made him special. His heart started racing. My sense of humor?" he asked shyly, hoping to deflect the attention. She shook her head, a small smile playing on her lips. Then, she reached up and gently lifted his chin, forcing him to meet her eyes. There was something so steady and kind in her gaze that Daniel couldn't look away. "No," she said, her voice soft and filled with sincerity. "It's your heart. It's beautiful." His breath caught in his throat. No one had ever called him beautiful before. No one had ever looked at him with such depth, with such understanding. It wasn't the kind of beauty that could be measured by physical standards. It was a beauty that came from the soul, from the quiet compassion he carried within himself, things he had never believed anyone would appreciate. He was stunned. His mind raced, and for a moment, he didn't know what to say. But Elena didn't wait for him to speak. Instead, she reached out, taking his hand gently in hers. The touch was simple, but it felt like the world had shifted. And in that moment, Daniel understood something that he had never been able to grasp before. Love doesn't seek perfection. It looks for truth. Love finds the heart, not the face. The transformation Daniel's world didn't immediately transform into some fairy tale. It wasn't like he woke up the next day suddenly confident, suddenly free from his doubts. But something inside him began to shift. For the first time, Daniel allowed himself to believe that maybe love could be for him too. That maybe, just maybe, he was worthy of it, not because of his appearance, not because of his achievements, but because of the heart he had always tried to hide. He learned that love wasn't about fitting into a mold. It wasn't about being perfect, or even about being someone else's ideal. Elena had loved him not because he was flawless, but because she saw him, really saw him. And in doing so, she gave him the gift of self-worth, something Daniel had struggled to find for most of his life. Daniel wasn't perfect, but Elena didn't want him to be. She loved him for exactly who he was. The quiet, simple man with a beautiful heart, the greater truth. And so, Daniel's story becomes more than just a tale about two people falling in love. It's a story about the power of seeing one another truly, deeply, and the profound impact that love can have when we allow ourselves to accept it, even when we don't think we deserve it. We all have our insecurities, our moments of self-doubt, and our fears about never being enough. But love doesn't care about that. Love isn't looking for perfection. It's looking for authenticity. It's looking for truth. And the moment you allow yourself to be seen, to be loved for who you are, that's when everything changes. Daniel didn't believe he could be loved, but Elena saw him for who he truly was. And in doing so, she gave him the greatest gift. The belief that love was not just for other people, it was for him too. Conclusion. The power of love. As we wrap up this story, think about the people in your life who see you for who you really are. Not just the outer layers, but the heart beneath. Do you allow yourself to be seen? Do you allow others to love you for the truth of who you are? Without fear? Without hiding? Remember, love does not seek perfection. It seeks truth. It finds the heart, not the face. If this story resonated with you, share it. Like, share, and subscribe to continue spreading this powerful message that love is for all of us, no matter where we're at or what we believe about ourselves. Don't hide your heart. Don't be afraid to let others see you for who you truly are. Love will find you just as it found Daniel.